welcome to Spill the RT episode 53. I am Eamon Shanahan and I am here with Josh. Hi, Josh.
Hello, Eamon. Hello, world. How you doing? How was your week, Eamon?
Oh, sure, look, it was great. We were so weltering. The sweat is melting. You don't want to see what's underneath this t shirt. It is full of stuff.
Guess it depends on who the audience is. Maybe
Well,
someone.
this is true. This is very true. This is very true. We've had nice little success there on our YouTube channel this week. We've had lots of comments on some of our videos. Not so nice comments, mind, but they were comments.
Well, I guess I would say comments of any kind mean at least someone's paying attention. So I don't really care. Say what you want, folks. It really means nothing to me whatsoever, except the fact that the algorithm wants the comment.
They want the comments. They want the comments. So comment below, folks. Comment below. Yes.
Absolutely.
How was your?
Josh, you suck. Josh, you suck. Sounds good to me. Excellent.
I don't. They didn't highlight any particular one of us as to whether we sucked
Yeah,
or
they
not.
just
They were
wanted
just
us
telling
to
us.
shut up.
They were like, "Can you just shut up and let us hear the violin play, please?" And I was like, "Oh, right, okay, okay. Clearly, we're not giving the people what they want." How was your
Here,
week, Josh?
I'll play it for that person right now. Listen, right here. This is the smallest violin playing for what you think. Exactly.
Oh, okay. It's like the smallest little violin that we're playing for them. Yeah, we care that much, guys. We care that much. Great. Well,
That much.
how was your week, Josh? Was it good?
I was all right. I made it to today, right? That's the
Good.
best we can do.
Oh, sure, look, it's Thursday, and we love a Thursday because we got all of the tea that's spilled on a Thursday. We love it.
Sure.
Sure. Okay, then. Well, Josh, we have lots of art stories today. We have lots of news that we need to share. So tell us, give us the lowdown. What are we covering today?
All right. Are you ready, folks? It's a big one.
Oh,
No pun intended. This week, the biomes at the new Lucas Museum in LA. Ed Sheeran's paintings and prints. The Bayeux Tapestry returns to England for the first time in 900 years. That's kind of a follow-up to a story from a couple weeks ago. 2025 Astrophotography Shortlist. Some really interesting photographs, as well as Eamon's Science of the Week.
yeah,
And
baby.
should we cry for Evita? I don't know, but I guess it's a controversy. All that and a brand new guest are up next as we spill the art tea. Welcome to episode 53.
53, feeling free.
53. It's truly all downhill from here.
Oh dear, oh dear. The wrinkles are already settling in, Josh. You don't want to see that. I've started to wear the hat because of the greys that are just popping in. It's salt and pepper under here, babe. Salt and pepper. Tell us, Josh, what are our folks to do before we bring on our guest?
Like, share, subscribe, send to 3 friends. Absolutely. Leave a comment. Buy some swag.
Buy some swag. Get that swag in there. Yeah, baby. We love some swag.
Be a sponsor. Send us a sponsor.
Yes, and remember, what I did actually in the meantime, since we spoke last this week, created a Patreon account. So you can go check us out at New Collective Art on Patreon. Have a look, see what we got.
Who knows what's behind the paywall?
Who knows what's, well, it's not OF anyway, that's for sure. But with that in
Well,
mind, or not that in
I'm
mind.
just saying that for folks that are not aware, right? 53 means at least 53 hours of on air plus who
Mhm.
knows how many off air minutes that goes along with it.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of film that may or may not get repurposed in different ways behind that Patreon wall.
Yeah. Well, there might be a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes there too that might just be of interest to people who love to see us fail. Well, or not.
That's true. There's a lot of bloopers. No lie.
Well, excuse me, while I catch my breath, excuse me, let's bring on our guest, our fabulous guest, all the way from Thurs, County Tipperary in Ireland. It is Miss Therese Maher. Come on down. Hey, Trace.
Hello.
You're on the
Welcome.
Price is Right. Oh, well, no, spill the RT. How are you today?
I'm really good. Yeah, I'm really, really good.
Great, you've been a very busy gal.
I sure have. Yeah, just come from a get in today. So I am actually party on the top and work on the bottom. I still have
Oh,
work clothes on underneath the desk. So
that's all.
yeah.
That's all. G. That's all. G. As long as you've got something to hold and something to kind of keep you getting through this podcast today.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
great. Well, we have loads to speak with you about later on in the show.
Awesome.
But first up, we have our very first story of the day. So, Josh, where are we going to first?
Off we go to LA, actually South LA, I guess, where you may remember in the Ocean series of films, they had what are called soft openings. A
Okay.
casino would open, but not really open, right?
Mm.
And so the Lucas Museum is not technically open, but it's open, even though it's not open. And what's mostly open, it's a lot of open here. What's mostly open is all the biomes that have been created. I know, like, I get it. And if you've been to South LA, it's mostly sort of industrial and freeways. It's really not attractive. This is the area that's south of LAX, like I say, industrial zone that slowly but surely is being gentrified because A, they built a freeway stub so cars could get there, and B, they simply run out of space in other parts of Los Angeles, right?
Okay.
So Lucas, of course, wanted an ego project, as people do with a lot of money and time on
Uh-huh.
their hands. And so he created this new museum about sort of culture and different kinds of things. The outside of the building is what's basically been opened at this point, not the inside. And the outside has got all these different biomes, so you can traverse across it, and it feels like you're walking across real landscape.
Cool.
Ironically, of course, it's actually mostly foam underneath the surface.
Wow, I've got this is an interior shot of it as well, but it does look like a Star Wars movie. It has got that sci-fi-esque sort of feeling
That's
to it.
not, those aren't real people, though. What you're looking at
Oh,
is
this is
like,
an auto-generated image.
these are architectural elevation sketches and various kinds of things because it actually hasn't opened as of yet.
What do you think, Trace? Would you like to go visit far, far away in LA?
No, I mean, I've got plenty of biomes outside my own windows, so I don't think I need to see the LA ones. And I mean, isn't it slightly counterintuitive to be trying to build a natural landscape sitting on top of a whole pile of foam?
Hmm. Hmm.
This makes so much sense. This makes so much sense. I think, however, I suppose if they were gonna make a big, massive homage to the Star Wars world, then at least they're doing it with some form of consideration to bringing in the eco-centric side of it.
I don't think what's going to end up there is necessarily going to be Star Wars per se. I think it's going
Okay.
to be more like the Museum of the Moving Image that's in London. If you've ever been there, it's really
Mm,
cool because
Oh,
they've had things on like video games, they've had all kinds of pop culture kinds of
cool.
stuff. So
Mm,
I think this is going to be more like that. And the goal is to try to get people in, right? So it's not
yeah,
designed to be just another esoteric museum. There's obviously loads of those already. And
yeah,
hmm
LA is a place where things are always kind of like you have to drive there, you don't walk. If you walk
yeah.
in LA, you truly are, it's like being a serf in medieval times. Like you just don't exist as a person. So like where the whole thing is set up so people can park underneath it. Like it's a very
Okay.
typical LA kind of thing, right? So how many people will actually attract? I don't know. If it's priced cheaper than Disneyland, I'm certain it will probably get a few people because it's less than an hour's drive from Anaheim to where this is in LA.
It's a cool looking building, and I mean, it looks very like
As I
strange
say,
and
I think in the US, we've gotten used to vanity projects like this. Like it's
yeah.
basically since we've cut public funding, the only way you're going to get something this big in a public space that people can use, guess what, is if someone with egos decides, I need my cock to be laid out on the architectural landscape for me.
Okay then, and we're going
Sorry, but
right
that's
forward. We're going
and
right forward. We made it 3 minutes in.
people that drive giant trucks, it's because their package is
Yep.
too small. People that have to have their name on everything, it's
Elon Musk.
because
Ah,
I just, if I had this kind of money, I've said this before on the show, if I had this kind of money, you would never know it was me who was donating, right? Because
yeah,
the point
Mm,
is the
yeah,
donation, not the
yeah.
cash with my name attached to it.
yeah,
That's me, why I don't have any money and why when I started a nonprofit business, it no longer is in business. But
yeah. The name over the door doesn't appeal to you, Josh.
that's not why I do anything really.
You
So
don't want the gold lettering then.
I'm going to die one way or the other, right? I
Okay,
just think it's
That's true.
about what we do. It's not the name attached to it.
very true.
It's more with the hand, less with the mouth. Ironically, given this is a fucking
Yeah, and you can't take it with you.
You can't
Doesn't
take
matter
it
where
with you. You can't take it
doesn't
with
matter
you.
where you think you're going, which direction you think you're going. You still can't
well,
take it with you.
again, the way I was raised is you're still alive after you're gone as long as people are
Yeah,
using your name. right?
Yeah.
And so you don't
Absolutely.
generally use the name except for two reasons: being a real asshole or being
Yep.
someone that tried to make the world better. I would
Mhm.
prefer the latter than the former. I'm probably the former to many people's eyes than the less.
You're a
I don't
lovely
care.
person, Josh. You're a
It
lovely person.
it is what it is. At least I tried. But at the end of the day, like, that's the only thing that's going to matter, right? So
Yep.
I'm not
Hmm.
I'm not big on that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
well, see how that tea brews over the course of its development, and we'll come back and check that out again in the future.
Speaking of ego, off we go.
Go on
Ed
then.
Sheeran. Ed Sheeran.
Oh,
Now he claims to be doing this, like, sales of these paintings and prints are actually for charity,
yes.
right? Half of it
Okay.
goes to a charity.
Hmm.
So he is claiming, look, I don't understand why people are getting all pissy about this. I'm making art and trying to sell it.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't I do this? I enjoy doing it. Why shouldn't I do it? The uproar, of course, is that these literally look like basically just Jackson Pollock ripoffs in the
Mhm.
kind of, I'm going to pay $20 and paint a clay frog and take home a painted piece of art kind of way. Right? Like the date and
Yep.
paint kind of sessions,
So,
right? What they call them,
Yeah.
sip and paints or whatever, right?
I'll pin by
That's,
numbers.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I was being a little more generous than that. But doing spill paintings like this is the kind of thing that, like, everyone goes through, I think, at one point or another, because they're kind of fun. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
but in the sense of, like, well, I could paint the inside of the walls of my house. Look, that's fun too. It's
Yep.
not, which is why Pollock himself only did it for a short period of time and then moved on, because it's not particularly complicated.
I think
Well,
why.
no, it's
Oh,
not.
sorry, Trace. Go on.
No, go on, go on. You're
What
right.
I have to say about this is there's a couple of things that I found in researching this because initially I was like, oh, not another pop star trying to be an artist, like a visual artist,
Yeah.
because we saw this with, was it Roy? No, not Roy Keane, not the footballer. The Robbie Williams. Robbie Williams did it recently. He had a
Did
big.
he do
He
some paintings?
did, yeah. He had a full-on gallery exhibition in London, full of very, very nonsense type paintings, but in my further research, I've come to acknowledge and appreciate what he's done. So, firstly, his mom and dad are actually in the art scene. I think his mother or I don't know which one, but one of them
Oh,
was
right.
was a
Okay.
curator. So, like, they do actually come from. Let me vouch for him. Let me vouch for him, Josh. Don't for those
For
listening and
those that
not
don't,
watching. He
this is
was
a
I mean,
doing.
golf clap. This
like
is
if
a
he was
golf clap.
putting out quality paintings, then fair enough. But
Yes,
he's
this is
literally
true.
just throwing the paint at the
On the
canvas.
canvas, yeah, yeah.
Every 4-year-old does that. Come
Yeah.
on.
You see, I'm getting to the point where, so I'm giving him the courtesy of, the genuine niceties first before I go and actually bollock the pollock. But it's like it's all. Stop it! Let me speak, boy. Let me speak. Anyway, so I feel that yes, he's doing all of this thing for charity and he's giving all this money back. But if you're going to do it based on art, surely you should give it to an artist sort of collective, such as New Collective, not a music collective. Thirdly, I mean, why are you charging so much money for it? I suppose maybe
Well,
because he
to
can
be
get it.
fair, he's that famous that if he literally bottled his sweat, people would pay
Yeah,
money for it.
Yep, and
So,
boy,
like,
could
he
he?
might
Yep,
as well throw paint at a canvas.
yeah. It's only
You
household
know,
paint
people.
too.
but
Oh,
the
it's
truth
not
is,
even like.
No, no.
Okay.
no, it's just
Yep,
basic kind of stuff. But I mean,
yep,
so was Pollock's, to be fair, right? That's what was available at the time, which is why they break down and crack and they don't
yep.
hold up
Yeah.
very well, because it's not really designed to be preserved. But I mean, £1,200, €1,200, it's actually not a lot in the context of art and celebrity brand connected kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Hmm.
again, I'm on the West Coast in America. Every third Hollywood person is also a artist and has, solo shows, because there's dozens and dozens of vanity
Yep.
galleries, and
They got the
that's
money.
exactly,
They got the money.
and
Yeah.
it's got a celebrity's name attached to it, so they want it, right?
Yeah.
So this transcends this issue of, like, what is artistic value, because these
Mm.
people have already crossed over into the Parthenon of people that are going to be remembered, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
whether their signature was on a napkin or their signature was on anything, a certain number of people from now probably into perpetuity are going to want to be collecting this shit, if
Yeah.
nothing
Absolutely.
else, because kitsch is not going to die either. So
No.
whatever was popular, someone's going to be wearing it
Yeah.
ironically or
Yeah.
collecting it ironically at some point in the future,
That's
right?
true.
So
That's
Yeah.
true.
I mean, again, he is doing it for charity. Okay, he's art connected. So what? In this world of today, every third person is also art connected in some kind of
I'm
way.
just
So
saying.
that doesn't mean anything
I'm
to
just
me.
saying. There's a little more merit to it than the likes of Robbie Williams' excursion. But I also think that it's a bit rich. Because if I or you or any of us wanted to do a painting exhibition, it would cost
Yeah.
us so much money to do it. Not to mention the
Yeah.
fact that the galleries probably wouldn't think twice about us because we don't have 200,000 followers on Instagram or whatever the case may be, which is what a lot of stuff is being merited on at the moment, no matter whether it's
Yeah.
in the arts, in
Yeah.
theater, or in music, or in
Mm.
art, in visual art. It's all got to do with that whole kind of like how
So,
much attention
like,
can you bring us?
do you think him doing something like that is actually discrediting artists
Well,
by him
what I
just
was going to
putting that
say
out
is
there?
the other option is just be very good, right? So the
Well, yeah.
actor that played, there was an actor on The Sopranos who played Silvio. He was this guy who was imported in from Italy, and then he literally had himself forced out of the show because he wanted to go back to painting. And he
Mm.
is a fine art, photorealistic. He paints a Renaissance style, right? Like
Hmm.
Mm.
so, like his paintings sell legitimately for $1 million, not because he was an actor no one really
Yeah.
remembers anymore, but because he's
Because he was a
established
trained
himself
artist.
as a painter across decades of painting, right?
Mm.
And so, like if you're good, I got no problem with that. But
Yeah.
this kind of thing where it's this double combination, it's I'm pop culturally famous
Yeah.
and I'm using stuff that anyone literally could do. Like, okay, good for you, I guess. Like, is this angel wings that are supposed to be growing on his back? I don't.
Yeah.
Again, I
Have
go
you
back to the
have you guys seen there's a reel of David Tennant and Michael Sheen? So they're like best friends. They've got this amazing relationship and it's so funny. And they've obviously I think it might have been during COVID or
COVID, I
something.
know it. Yes, I've seen
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
And David Tennant holds up this like pencil sketch of a pineapple and it's like some 5-year-old's done it. And then Michael Sheen holds up this like beautiful landscape, and David Tennant's there going, "No way did you paint that! Like, fuck off! When did you tell me you could paint?" Like, it was just, yeah, it was
Love
funny.
it. Love it.
Um, that these two people who are obviously famous for very different reasons. That is like
Mm.
Michael Sheen's got this totally other skill set
Yeah.
that nobody knows about.
There are, yeah, and like there are other like art, like I know is this Tom Hanks, I think, is another one that does a lot of artwork behind the scenes as well. There's
Hmm.
a lot of other
Yeah,
actors who are creatives, I suppose, who would have
yeah,
multiple strings to their bow, that but then don't use their celebrity fame to kind of try and
yeah.
bring that to the forefront.
well, I think it goes back to what we're talking about, right? Like if I had, let's say I had reached that level of breakthrough in a different field, and then I
Mm,
also wanted to make work as a creative and whatever kind of creative work I want to
Mm.
do, I would probably use a different name, right? I wouldn't
yeah.
want to be relying on
Yeah.
what I had done. But it goes back to the issue. Do you want your name attached to actions or the actions what matter more? And
Mm,
Yeah.
like for some people, the way that they get people to pay attention to the second and tertiary actions is only because of what they did the first
Yeah.
time. So
beforehand, yeah.
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 I'd like to see a real sketch from Ed Sheeran rather than playing with paint. Like I can
Well,
get
he's
high and
he
play
did
with
they
paint
I think
too, but
I
it's
think they did mention that he did the original artwork for his album covers, which are just multiplication signs and math signs, aren't they? The kind of like the plus, divide,
Yeah.
minus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
so again, word paintings. Oh, I guess John Baldessari never existed at all, and like whatever.
oh, the
People
shade, the
Well,
shade.
because like legitimately artists can like stumble onto things that art historically seem
Yes,
obvious, but if you're not aware of the art history, then
yeah,
you found it legitimately your way through your process. So I'm not taking away from that. But again, if what you keep doing over and over again and putting out in the world is here's with my name attached is nothing but essentially stuff that other people have already done instead of
yeah,
pushing the edge. Well, I
Yeah.
guess Ed Sheeran should only do then covers, right? Like he should never release original work then as a singer because that's essentially what you're doing as a 2D
yeah,
painter.
very
It's not that you
much.
don't have
Yeah.
skill, it's just that you're
Yeah.
not presenting your own work.
No.
And
Yeah.
as a musician, I would say I do while I've done plenty of originals, I've also done plenty of cover work, obviously, because that's how you pay your bills as a bar band. And that's the difference. A bar band just wants to pay its bills and also get to do what they like to do. Someone who's trying to push the edge knows they could fail and never be seen and never make any money. And that's the risk that they're willing to take. And so
Yeah.
it's just kind of a little, as the kids would say, it's a little cringe.
Before we rinse Ed Sheeran any further, I feel like we should spill this tea.
Sorry,
And move
come at
swiftly
me.
along.
Come cancel me. Whatever the Sheeranites are, come cancel me. Come
Poor
find
Ed
me. Be my
Sheeran.
guest.
Poor
Oh,
Ed
they're
Sheeran.
coming for you. They are.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they're gonna hand
Oh,
on your door. Those Ed Sheeran California fans.
I'm so worried. Just so worried.
Okay.
So
move on.
off we go. I guess this is a combination of both France and England because this is the Bayeux
Yes.
Tapestry. For those that are not aware, I don't know why you wouldn't be because it's a very famous thing, but hey, Americans also are not necessarily aware of these things.
Yes.
This tapestry goes back to like 900 years ago, right? And it's about the Norman conquest. And like it's a very long scroll, essentially, a visual scroll that captures what happened. And so it's been in France, though, for like, I don't know, a long ass time, 900 years or something like that. And so for the first time ever, the French have agreed to loan it out. And so you think that there's going to be mobs at the Mona Lisa when the Louvre gives it its new room. This is going to have every Briton in the world flocking to the UK to see the
Well, they will.
tapestry.
Well, just because we covered it a couple of weeks ago and we highlighted the real need for people to see it, which is because of all of the appendages that we found. Isn't that the real reason that people are going to mob to it?
So for those who
art
aren't
is filthy.
for those that aren't aware, Eamon is bringing back up a big point of discrepancy amongst researchers. They can't figure out how many cocks are on the tapestry.
There's
Probably
quite a few.
more than you will ever find.
Well,
There's
'cause
quite a few.
You got horse cocks, but then you also have
Oh, yeah.
sabers. And the question is, how many of the sabers are actually males' cocks, as opposed? It's a thing. It's a big thing. It's a big controversy amongst art historians. And so, hey, look, you can now go in person and do your own counting. See that?
Perfect. See, and look at that naturally tying in previous episodes for you to go back and watch the last one. Love that. But yes, maybe we should not like actually talk about that part of the story. So yeah, there's going to be nice little kind of connections between the French and the British again. That's nice.
Well, yes, I think because they have no choice. Right? They see darkness gathering on the horizon, and so. I think that Macron and whoever is currently in charge of Britain keeps changing on a weekly basis.
Don't ask me.
I do think that they see problems, and they're trying to do what they can to have a rapprochement to create a greater sense of European connectedness.
Of course.
So what they decided to do was share a tapestry that was a war between those two countries. That's a great way to, boost the camaraderie.
But it was a long time ago.
Yeah, so was the English rule in Ireland, and we haven't forgotten it yet.
No.
So,
Whoop, whoop. He says silently, whoop, whoop, off the patriarchy.
But if you think about it, both the Irish and the Scottish hold grudges in ways that other parts of the UK don't necessarily hold a grudge in the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like a bit of resentment.
That's not to say that the Welsh can't get a little, Welsh about being Welsh, but it's just not the same level of...
We're the nicest people. We're the nicest people on the planet, us Celts, until you wrong us, and then woe betide you. That's it. You're dead to us forever.
See, Therese, you get history, you get science, you get art, you get music. It's like it's a full world of education on Spill the RT.
We are the world.
We are the world.
Just without a monkey.
Bing, 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 bing.
That's it. I forgot. The elf on the shelf over there will absolutely...
Christmas is not for months yet, can we not?
Yeah.
Well, what else do you do with your time then? If you're the elf on the shelf,
Oh well, you don't want to know that, Josh. You don't want to know that. Not to mention.
Nobody needs to know that. Thanks.
No, we don't need to mention those sort of things on Spill the RT. It is a PG podcast.
Is it though?
Is it though? Well, let's give us a little bit of insight on what's happening with New Collective for a moment, and we'll be right back after these very messages. New Collective, an arts community collective with art, artists, and art publications with fresh work, news, and updates added weekly to our online collection at www.newcollective.com. Here you will also find our New Journal featuring articles and podcasts, which are also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, like this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on us spilling the RT in our weekly roundups every Thursday. Yeah, baby. See? Swing it, miss it, bang. I'd always miss it. I was never good at swinging batons or hurleys or anything like that. It was no. I'm like, the slitter's coming at me.
Fear of missing art. That's the phrase. That's our
We want the
phrase.
FOMO.
Fear of missing art.
Have you heard of that FOMO before? It's not FOMO, it's FOMA.
It's FOMA.
FOMA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Fear of missing art.
Coined that term. Can't afford to pay for the trademark, but FOMA.
It's ours nonetheless, damn it.
It is.
It's ours.
Heard it here first. Exclusive.
Exactly. And don't forget, you can get your swag. If you want your swag, we've got lots of swag. Would you like to see some of our swag trays?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's have
Fantastic.
a go. So we've got FOMA t-shirts, and we've got little caps. And we've got like those little tote bags to bring all your shopping, or to forget to bring out to get all of your shopping, because you know who forgets to bring their shopping bags to the grocery stores?
Always.
Me, all
Always.
the time. Yeah, literally. Like, what is that about? So yeah, there you go. There's all of our swag. Get some.
It would get us copyrighted, but we should be playing "I'm Too Sexy" in the background every time we do the Schwags piece. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
you should.
Yeah.
Yes, you should.
Yeah,
But
I'm
like I said-
too sexy for that.
YouTube would be very upset with us, so we're not going to do that. Everyone
not
just
gonna-
bounce to it in their head.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
too sexy for
Don't.
that.
So anyway, let's see.
Anywho.
Moving on to this week's science.
Okay.
Hey, Eamon,
Yes.
why do we care about Greenwich? Why does Greenwich matter?
Greenwich, as in the place in the UK.
The place, yeah.
It's marine. Isn't there a marine, like a sea bed there somewhere, or like a dock or something? I'm really looking
Greenwich?
stupid right now.
That's
Greenwich
where
Mean Time.
basically astronomy began, which is why Greenwich Mean Time is set as
Ah,
the basis.
Trace.
Have zero.
Trace. Well done, Trace.
So that's not the
It's on the back of my
science
brain
part.
somewhere.
That was just to see whether Eamon went to class or not.
He
for his-
did not. He slept through all of
never.
his geography lessons. Absolutely 100%.
So there's a astronomy contest, a photo astronomy contest of who can take the best pictures that they hold in Greenwich every
Okay.
year.
Makes sense.
And
Uh-huh.
for those that don't know, this kind of thing, right? It's an honor to be both long-listed and short-listed, because it means amongst millions of various photographs or hundreds of thousands of photos of whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? These are the people who did it best. And so
Yeah.
this is the short list. It's a very
Yes.
short list, like less than a dozen pictures of some really interesting pictures of the night, I guess I would say.
They're absolutely fabulous. Here we go. Let's look at the first one. So
Oh,
this
wow.
one is called Into the Past by Jim Hildreth. I'm gonna really butcher your names. I'm really sorry. But I think this would make me interested in the science of photography through the photography in astronomy.
Yeah.
So at least we can appreciate it. I love a nice picture. So here's a beautiful photograph by Jim. So this is
Gorgeous.
Jim. And this one here, which I think is my favorite, it's a rainbow mosaic of the rosette and the Christmas tree nebula. I got there eventually. Nebula. So those who are listening are just having a great time listening to me trying to figure out how to say words. And
As they usually do.
and that photograph, oh dear. Okay, I'm really sorry, Sheoa Sang. I'm so sorry. Maybe I shouldn't read these out. So, beautiful. I love this. I think this is stunning. Do you
Yeah,
know it's kind of like when they do that that ink technique on canvas or on
Rorschach.
paper. Yes, and it's just stunning. Stunning how that. But this is an actual photograph of that. I think that's beautiful.
Well, to me, it's always just a continuum between abstract and realistic, right?
Mm.
And so if you go so hyper realistic, then you come back to abstract. And so it's like what you see in this as
Mhm.
much as that it's a photograph of
Yeah.
part of the night sky, right?
Yeah.
I can see several different things. And so
Yeah.
I'm not going to reveal them because I have no interest in
No,
telling people my
no,
psychology.
let's not go there. Let's not go there. But that actually, your point there just reminded me of last week's segment about our cell, our the micro images of the cells, which are just stunning. Go check that out, folks. And here
Okay.
is the third image, which is a moonrise perfection over the Dolomites by Fabian Dalpiaz. I got so close until I got towards his name. Dalpiaz. But again, beautiful image. Oh, and this one is really cool. Obviously,
Oh
looking at
wow,
some form of Northern
Northern
Lights,
Lights.
which are just stunning. Which is Congen by Philip Firebender. The other thing is that I just can't see because the font is so small on my screen. So I just like maybe it's
But
because I'm blind.
what I liked about this one, it's crazy because you have the usual aurora in the background,
Mm,
right? But if you look in the foreground, it looks almost like giant hairs, but they're trees.
Yes.
It's just a crazy ass
Yeah.
image. And then it's shifted towards like phthalo green in terms of the filtration, just because that's how the light came through. And
yeah,
Mm.
it's just phthalo green, number one, is an awesome color. I just amazing. And then to have something look like that actually as reality is just, I thought this was like the best of the set for me.
it's really cool. And it kind of I love the fact that you've got so many multiple perspectives in it. You know that from the
Mm.
foreground being so vastly magnified to the background being so vast. I just think that's really cool. And the last one that we're going to share with you today is this one, the Aurora over the Mono Lake, a rare dance of light by Daniel Safra. Zafra. Zafra. Which I also think is really there's something really gentle about this image. I love the light in this. I think
Mhm.
it's you could
I
you,
painted a series. I have a series that are kind of like this. I call them like incandescents,
mm,
where it's like
Oh yeah.
lines coming up, but also with a mirror the other way. And it's like it's a sense of like euphoria, the sense of like that moment of the snap when you get something. That's what that kind of image seems like to me, right? It's like the
yeah.
beginning of something. Might also be
Mm.
the end of something. Who knows?
Yeah.
This
And for
is
those
true.
of you listening, you need to go and watch this now on YouTube so that you can see all of these beautiful images or check out the ZWO Astronomy Photographer of the Year shortlist on their website. That would be very cool. Now, there you go. What a really nice experience
Boom.
that was.
See that?
Fabulous.
Science for everyone. Boom.
Science for
Woo.
everybody. And now to go from something nice and
Off
calm to something
off
quite
to
loud.
London, I guess, right? London, and
To
I guess
London.
there's a new production of Evita, and there's some kind of controversy. What a shock.
There,
Controversy in the theater world.
there
Who
is
could
a
imagine?
controversy led by Jamie Lloyd. No better man to lead a controversy, and obviously, Evita is all over the news the last week because of Rachel Zelgar, who is playing the role of Ava Peron in Evita, and
Mm-hmm.
she is singing the infamous song "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina" on
Don't
the
cry for me,
almost as
Argentina.
beautiful as that, Josh. Almost as
Almost.
beautiful.
Don't
But
copyright us.
outside the theater on the Palladium balcony. So there's this there's a lot of debate is going on about this and from ticket seller or ticket buyers who are attending the show and saying, well, I came to see the show on the stage and not to watch it on a screen, which is kind of one view. And there are critics that are saying lots of different things, and who
Mm.
are going back on themselves, who have gone to criticize it to no end, giving it 2 stars, to going back and rewriting it to give it 5 stars because of the vast impact. Vast is the word of the week. To give it the vast impact that it is giving to audiences across the world because of its massive attention that it's getting. So, yeah,
Yeah.
Trace, I feel
I
like you'd
don't.
have something to say about this.
I do. I find it quite annoying when critics go back on their own opinions because it's
Mm,
like, well, you're you're writing what you thought about the show, and if you didn't like it, fair enough, that's grand. You are writing an opinion piece. Don't then change your mind because everybody else is going on about how amazing it is.
yeah.
Uh, do you know, like people are doing different things with theater, they're trying different things, they're taking shows in different directions. You have to allow for that creativity and you have to allow for taking a show that's traditional and doing something different with it.
Yeah.
um and it's funny actually because there's quite a lot of shows that critics have absolutely slated in the past that have gone on to be complete and utter blockbusters.
Yep. Yeah, no,
but
completely.
don't change your
Yeah,
opinion about it.
yeah.
Stand by your thoughts. If you didn't like it or if you didn't think that the direction it went in was right, then fine.
But those are actually two different things, right? I mean, I think allowing theater to be experimental and applauding people for attempting something is one thing. As a writer, as someone who has had like a monthly column, it is possible that like the goal is to have a conversation, right? And so you put your initial ideas out there, you get a response from people. It's not, I would say it's actually a mark of someone who's willing to actually think through what's going on around them to change their opinion. Not because the crowd has said you must change your opinion, but because based on actual arguments that have been made, that they've been persuaded. Now, I don't know if that's the case in this particular instance, right? Like, I literally have
Well,
no
no,
dog in
because
this bone whatsoever.
they're paid to write a review, and
Mm.
the
Right.
review is based on the one performance that they see, and
But
And
their
that's
point
my
of
whole
experience.
view
point.
about it.
Mm.
But that's my whole point. As someone who's been paid to do that, I can say it is possible that I, upon reflection, because sometimes you're doing this stuff and it's just like one of 15 things that have to be done as part of what you have as
Hmm.
deliverables. So you
Mm.
just get in, you get out, you do what you got to do, and you're not necessarily thinking it through in the same kind of way that a prolonged conversation in public might change your thought. Like I say,
Yep.
to me, it would be a sign of someone I'd actually want to keep reading if their thoughts do change based on what other people have had to say,
Mm.
because otherwise it's just like you're just getting what you're going to get from that person every time, and their opinion's never
Yeah.
going to change. Well, okay, once I know what your thought is on something, I don't ever need to read you again. I never
Yeah,
need to see what you say next,
yeah.
because obviously you're just going to keep saying the same thing, and
But
that's just, to me, that's boring.
I think especially with theater reviews, because you look at like if you're going to get a Guardian review or if you're going to get a Broadway World review, they're going to be
Yeah.
very, very different
Yeah.
viewpoints, and
Yeah.
they target very different
Different
audiences.
audiences,
Yeah.
for
Which
sure.
is fine, but I think kind of bringing it back away from the review element of it for a second and just talking about the production. So Jamie Lloyd is
Mm,
kind of he has become known for a specific style sheet, I suppose. And like
very much so.
most
Yeah.
directors will
Yeah.
have a style sheet. They'll have an application to it, and it's great because it identifies much like an artist or a
Yeah.
musician. They create
Yep.
a language or an identity for themselves. And from my point of view, and from what I've seen, from seeing, for example, Sunset Boulevard and seeing
Mm,
Evita, the style sheet is too similar. It's kind of
similar.
like
I've heard,
the
yeah,
whole
quite a
thing
lot of people
is
say that.
it's a formula, and the formula is fine, but you need to go to the theater to be surprised, and you still need to pay homage to the original script, and you still need to
Yeah.
pay homage to the testament of the production of what it is, and to actually stay true to it in some sense. Because at the always, in my view anyway, and that, like, this is the thing about critics, is that they all have their own review and their own opinion on
Yeah.
something. For me, it's staying not true just to the text, but true to the essence of the story. And I think that's really important. And sometimes I feel like Jamie Lloyd can be just that little bit too woke from my
To
viewpoint.
me, it just reminds me
So,
of the conversations about Baz Luhrmann like almost 30 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the same
yeah.
thing. And so I'm just like, look, someone's going to push the edge, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
are you encouraging people to try different things or not?
Mm.
But if you think that pushing the edge is somehow going to be you're the first one
Yeah.
doing it, I mean, it's entirely possible to do that occasionally as a creative,
Yeah.
right? But most of the time, you're recreating groundscape that somebody else has already walked at least
Yeah.
once, if not more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so
But
then it becomes this issue of like, why are you expecting them to have like an indicated homage if everything has been used before in some way,
Well, I
right?
don't
I
mind.
mean,
Yeah, I don't mind if it's an homage, but at the same time, I think that what he is doing quite frequently is he's relying on his own box of tricks, and the box of tricks
yeah,
is not being reinvented. It's just
it's
continually
like,
reused.
okay, I'm doing that production again. Let's just take that script
yeah.
off the shelf and let's do the
Yeah,
same blocking,
yeah.
the
But
same
but you
Like
know
everything.
why
the
you would do
costume.
that though?
Yeah,
Because he wants backers to keep backing him, right?
Well,
Like
yeah.
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like any creative. This is the key thing, folks. Don't get found, and don't get found early, because you're going to have to keep doing the same thing over and over
over and
again.
over
Yeah.
You're
again. Yeah,
not
And audiences
allowed
will
to
get bored.
change.
yeah,
Audiences will
It
get bored if they're seeing the same type of thing from a director all the
money,
time.
yeah,
money,
Well, yeah.
money.
But it seems to have split the nation. Like there are
Ah,
wildly different opinions about it.
yeah.
The first clip I saw about it was it was an Instagram reel, and this particular gentleman had gone to see the show and absolutely slated it. was going on about the choreography and how thumpy and stompy and everything that it was, and didn't like it. And then everything else I've seen is like a 5 minute standing ovation for her when she comes out at the end
Yeah.
and all of this sort of stuff. So like it is literally
See,
like it's Bovril. You either love it or
that's
hate it.
that's the other thing as well as Rachel Zelger, as being Rachel Zelger with her incredible vocal talent.
Yep.
And also her fame. It's much like putting Nicole Scherzinger in Boulevard, and it's much
Yeah.
like, or when Andrew Lloyd Webber did that himself for his own production of Cats a few years ago. It was a similar, like, it's like, let's get that title billing
Hook.
in.
Yeah.
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 But anyway,
And it's just
Monday.
unfortunate that that productions have to do that to be able to
yeah,
sell tickets.
yeah,
You don't have to. You
Yeah.
can do stuff that is off Broadway or off Broadway
you
or
do.
It's
whatever.
harder though.
Remember,
It
there's
is
a UK
harder.
version of that.
Yeah,
Yes, it is. So like you have to make your choice as
yeah,
a creative, right? To me, it's not about the
yeah,
particular medium. It's just
yeah,
two roads that have to get walked.
yeah,
And if you want to pay your bills and be able to
yeah,
not end up being gray and stressed, then guess what? You want to get found
yeah,
early. You want to keep producing shit people buy,
yeah,
and you
Yep.
take the slagging from critics as what it
yeah.
is. Nothing
I,
that you care about because
That's
they're not paying
exactly
your
it.
Yeah,
bills.
yeah. I think a super example of that is the likes of Operation Mincemeat, which started as a really tiny production without big names, and they've been Olivier Award winning and Broadway
Yeah.
transfers, and it is
Yeah.
possible. It is possible, but the difference is the graft that they had to put in order to achieve that
Yep.
is
Yep.
immense.
True
Yep. For
virality in a
sure.
cult way
Yeah.
in productions of 3D. I'm just thinking of like Rocky Horror. The point
Yes.
is, you make it
Hmm.
for yourself, you make to enjoy, and then you see what happens. And you
Yeah.
do it cheaply enough that if nothing happens, you can do another one. The
Yeah.
whole point is not to invest everything into a production. The point is to have fun and keep rolling forward.
This
Because
is
Yeah.
even
true.
if Rocky Horror is seen as the greatest thing ever as soon as it's made, I mean, what am I going to do then for the rest of my life? Only be Frankenfurter? Tim Curry would have, like, come on, think of all the great roles that he's had. The fact that he
Yep.
played Frankenfurter was
Yeah.
just part of the range. That's the
Yeah.
joy, right?
You
Like,
have
I
you
just,
you have a soft spot for Frankenfurter, have you,
well,
Josh?
I have actually been Frankenfurter in
No
certain,
way.
because
Oh, we need
in the
pictures.
U.S.,
We
no,
need
there's no
pictures.
pictures.
I
There's
love
no
it.
pictures.
We
Because
need
in the
pictures. Dig
U.S.,
them
We need
out.
evidence.
Dig them
midnight
out.
showings midnight showings, the whole point is you would go dress as somebody, right?
Oh
Well, I
yes.
Mm.
had a huge ass afro, folks. Guess what? So what was the natural character I was going to play? And I didn't really care. Wearing a Merry Widow did not bother me in any way, shape, or form. Do enough drugs and you could care less what you're wearing, right?
Josh, I need hardcore evidence for
Yeah.
that. If anything is going
Now,
to
Yeah.
get us go viral, that's what it will be.
nope, sorry, there's no evidence of
Right.
that at
Before
all.
we
It exists.
before we like literally unearth some more hot secrets from Josh Stein, uh,
Pre-digital life, folks, was so
pre-digital life.
much
Oh
better.
right, yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about Trays. Trays. It's
Dun,
great
dun,
to have you on the
dun.
show, and we're really excited to
Thank
talk about you
you.
and what you're doing. So tell us a little bit for those who do not know you. The world
Yeah.
knows you, but for those who don't, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Oh gosh. Okay. So yeah, I mean, Perlis, born and bred, small little town in the middle of Ireland, and I've been involved in theatre pretty much all my life. My mother put me into ballet lessons when I was 4 years old to correct my feet, and I fell in love with it, and I've been doing it ever since. I'm one of those kind of jack of all trades type of people. My undergrad's in music. While I was at college, I started directing and choreographing, fell in love with that, started in dance college, injured out of there quite badly, and went, oh, sugar, what do I do now? So I went and did a postgrad in stage management in Cardiff, worked professionally as a stage manager, production manager over there for close on 10 years, but missed the creative side of it. So I came back to Ireland, took over a stage school back at home. Uh, I went on, did my master's in performance with American College Dublin and direct shows around the country. I've expanded our stage school. We now run a full academy of music, dance, drama, art, everything. And I decided that wasn't enough for me. So I also started a PhD, which I'm currently avoiding like the plague, looking at the experiences of teenagers participating in musical theatre in 21st century rural Ireland. there's a title for you. And I love working with teenagers. So I started a youth musical theatre group. We're doing summer shows, cabarets, currently in the middle of the tech week for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which happens next week, which is absolutely terrifying. And then I also decided that that wasn't enough, and I'm launching a new, like a post leaving cert course to help prepare people for musical theatre college. So an awful lot of teenagers in Ireland don't really have access to professional training. They would have schools like ours, which are, they're great. They're a bit of fun on a Saturday morning or whatever, but they're not geared towards professional training. So when they go up against people who are UK based, if you're going for a UK college, they're up against people that have been doing it 4 days a week since the time they were 4. So we're using that to help prepare people for auditions, and then hoping to kind of expand it from there, see where we go. So yeah,
Wow.
that's my background. That's me in a nutshell.
My
But
goodness.
for those who are interested in doing those various kinds of tasks, right? A lot of it's also about getting funding, right? You must spend a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of time trying to get the money in different ways. No.
No, because I'm in that unfortunate gap between, I don't fall under Arts Council funding because we're a business, but I don't get any of the funding from other places because it's not tech, or it's not export, or it's not. We fall, people who
Mm,
own stage schools and businesses that are arts based fall in this really weird gap. I myself as an artist could possibly get
Mhm.
funding, but I couldn't then put that into my businesses, so it's incredibly difficult. It's all self-funded, and it's all, the academy is fee paying, but Limelight, our youth musical theatre group, is all based on sponsorship. And it's
mm,
really tough going,
Yeah.
reaching out to the community for help, because
Yeah.
there isn't there isn't much out there for us.
The community are great though. They're great to kind of to come together to give what they
Yeah,
can, especially in like I mean we are in very difficult social economic
for
times.
sure,
So it is
for
a
sure.
challenge, and so like for those who do give, like it is
Yeah,
it's really
it
great
is
that they
amazing.
do. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
Tell
They
people to donate Bitcoin.
yeah,
Yeah.
now, there you go. Outreach is the kind of seems to be like a massive part of your practice, Trace. Is there something that like kind of really kind of set you into that world more than anything else, or is there kind of how
Yeah.
did you start to follow that path?
Well, I suppose it was through my own experiences growing up. Growing up in a rural town, there's not much out there. I was lucky enough that I had parents that were incredibly supportive and put me into piano lessons and flute lessons and ballet and eventually musical theatre and all that kind of stuff, that it really spurred me forward
Mm,
to provide those facilities for people. There's not much else to do in a small town.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, and Ireland is becoming so much more open to actually having careers in creative industries,
yeah,
that we are now finding that teenagers are far more willing and able and interested and invested in coming and doing stuff like this,
yeah,
and see it as a career path.
yeah.
I think, like that, I was very, very lucky that I had parents that I turned around after I finished my music degree, and I went, I want to go to dance college. And my parents just went, okay. And then I want to go to the UK and study stage management. And my parents said, okay. Now I will say that, like, dad, every so often, I'm in my 40s, and my dad still says to me, would you not go back and do the teaching? Like, dad, I've had a successful career for the last 20 years. I'm
It's
doing all right, like,
it's such a creative's parents' response, but you not get a real job. And it
yeah,
was like, and you're like, it is a bloody real job. I've worked
it
60
is. It's
hours this
just
week.
not, that's it. But it's just not pensionable and regular
Yeah,
wage coming in and
yeah,
all the rest of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
terrifying. It's a terrifying
It's
but
vocational.
exhilarating space to be. It sure is. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
No, it's really
Well, it's
great.
like, are you willing to go on the roller coaster ride or not? And some people
And
don't want that.
Yeah,
for sure, it's a roller
yeah,
coaster. It is
Yeah.
literally like the stress, production. Oh, there's the calm down, and then it's straight into the next one.
Yeah.
So
You don't usually give yourself much of a space between the stress peak and the come down, though.
no,
It's almost like an overlapping curve. So
yeah,
you're on one of those
definitely.
super speed
Just a
crazy
cycle.
roller
Yeah,
coasters.
yeah,
It's like Rocket Mountain from bloody like
yeah.
Disneyland Paris.
I'll sleep when I'm dead. It's fine.
It's fine,
Better to be
absolutely.
better to be busy than have nothing.
This is true.
Oh, I can't deal with not being busy. But it's going back to what you were saying earlier on about leaving that legacy,
Yeah,
and if I had that amount of money, the first thing I do is build a theater
yeah,
and have free spaces for people to come and be
Exactly.
creative. And
yeah,
it's one of the things I'm really strong on is creating a safe space for these this is a really vulnerable age group, teenagers. They're my favorite group to work with. They're at an incredibly vulnerable stage in their
mm,
life, and I just
yeah,
want to create a safe space for
yeah,
them to come and do
yeah,
their thing. And
yeah.
if they never go on and do it afterwards, then that's fine. But
Mm.
they've had that experience and they've had that space to be able to do it.
Yeah, and I think as well, just to kind of slightly add to that as well, is that yes, they're at that vulnerable state, but I think the theatre world especially, and in the creative arts, there is something about the theatre environment or the rehearsal environment where people are very much supportive of one another. They're relying on each
True.
other to kind of get through
Yep.
something, and they've got a shared project in mind, so that the
Yep.
focus is
Yep.
streamlined. And it just means for people like even for me when I was growing up in a musical theatre group like yourself, Trace,
Yep.
it was a safe space to go to where we could express ourselves in the way we wanted to or in the way we could feel
Yep.
safe to do so.
That's exactly it.
It's the
Like I
same
work.
thing as sports.
Well,
It
Ah.
is. It's team based. It allows people to be
Yeah.
who they are,
Yeah.
right? And so that's why teenagers are encouraged to. The problem is that we don't
yeah,
give as much weight to the creative side of people
No,
yeah,
for
as the
sure.
sports side,
yeah,
Yeah,
right?
for
yeah,
But
sure.
the same thing happens. Kids that
yeah,
aren't allowed to do sport do drugs.
yeah,
Kids that aren't allowed to be creative do drugs. You know why? Because if you're bored as a teenager
Yeah.
and you can't do something,
yeah,
guess
Yeah.
what you do?
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
My grandmother always
Absolutely.
said, "Idle work makes room for the devil." Isn't that it?
It's so true. It's so true. But one of the things I really love, if I go to a lot of schools and I do their school show, they bring me in to do that. And I'm coming in completely fresh. I've never met these kids
Yeah,
before. I don't know anything about them, their lives, and specifically their academic history.
yeah,
And I will have teachers come to me in the staff room and be like, oh my God, I never thought that person would do something like that.
yeah,
They're either really, really quiet and don't ever say anything, or they're the bold ones and they're
yeah,
suddenly playing the lead role. And the
yeah,
teachers, I'm like, because I get to see a completely different side of them to what you
yeah,
do. You sit
yeah,
in a classroom with them
yeah,
every single week.
yeah.
I get to do fun stuff with them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also haven't been in the room with them all the time, so you're
Exactly.
completely
I'm fresh.
detached. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fresh.
I'll never, just another story. I'll never forget going into a rehearsal with Trays, in the most
Oh,
outrageous red
backwards.
shoes. Do you remember into a very country school in
Very country
Tipperary,
school.
and
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
like almost knee-high red boots on, and yeah, I got a couple of looks. But it's all about being expressive. It's all about putting yourself out there and show
What
there's
were you
one
wearing above the red boots that
jeans,
were knee high?
but they weren't
So were
knee-high. But you know what I mean?
Did you
Like they
not have
were
your combats? Did you not have your
probably. Oh,
combats
that was
on?
probably that was my other phase.
Yeah,
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 were
probably.
the
combats
jeans
them.
tucked? Were the jeans tucked into the boots, or were the boots tucked into the
Yeah,
No,
jeans?
no,
yeah.
no. The jeans were tucked into the boots.
Oh,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a
I remember that.
fabulous look. I was
Yeah, it was
owning that.
stunning.
I was owning
It
that.
was like if he was walking down the street in London, nobody would bat an eyelid at him. Just
Yeah,
walking down the street of a small Tipperary town,
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
got some looks.
And like
Yeah,
to put it into a little bit of perspective, like some of the kids were coming in late for the day because they were too busy at their home farm
milking the
milking the
cows.
cows.
Yeah,
So, and in
yeah.
comes Eamon.
In flounces, Eamon. Flounces.
I
Yeah.
present, darling. I present. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time to present today.
Speaking of pictures, where's the image of this?
That
Oh,
picture I'm sure it lives somewhere. It's fine. It's fine. We'll have a show and tell someday, Josh. We'll have a show and tell. We'll have a show and tell. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. Isn't that how that works?
Ooh, that's a different sort of podcast.
That's a different sort of podcast. One that would probably make us some money, don't you think?
Yeah.
My merry widow is long gone.
Okay then. Well, Josh, before we leave, please tell our listeners and our viewers what are they to do.
Leave a comment. That's the most important thing. Like, share, subscribe, send to 3 friends, buy some swag, find us a sponsor.
Yeah,
Any
bing, bing,
sponsor.
bing, bing. Get it out there. Get it out there. Leave your comments in the comments below because that's what the algorithm wants. So let's get that going.
That company with the robotic sex machines, we're happy. You can take us on as a sponsor too. It's cool.
No problem. No problem. No problem. Anything at all. We just want your money. That's all we have time for today, folks. Thank you very much, Therese, for joining us. You've been
Most welcome. Thanks
fabulous
for having me.
guest, as we thought you would be. And Josh, thank you for spilling tea. And
thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
No,
until next Thursday, join us again where we will continue to spill the RT. Bye for now. Bye.